Everything you see right now is a lie. The sky above you is not a real-time image. It is a graveyard of ghosts. If the sun were to vanish this very second, you would continue to feel its warmth and see its light for another 8 minutes, blissfully unaware that the heart of our solar system has stopped beating. You are never truly living in the present. You are a prisoner of the speed of light, forever staring into a past that may no longer exist. Welcome to the reality of the light year. A concept that doesn't just measure distance, but reveals the haunting lag between an event and our perception of it. Today we strip away the illusion of now and explore why, in the vast ocean of the cosmos, looking out means looking back. To understand the light year, we must first accept an absolute limit of nature, the speed limit of the universe. Light travels at approximately 186,282 miles per second. On the tiny local scale of Earth, this speed seems instantaneous. When you flip a light switch in your bedroom, the room fills with light so fast that the human brain cannot perceive even a microsecond of delay. But as we step out into the terrifying void of space, the staggering distances begin to expose how painfully slow light actually is. It is fast, yes, but the universe is simply too big for even the fastest thing in existence to be everywhere at once. Let's start with the moon, our closest celestial neighbor. Light takes about 1.3 seconds to travel from the lunar surface to your eyes. This means that when you gaze at a beautiful glowing full moon, you are actually seeing the moon as it was 1.3 seconds ago. If a massive asteroid were to slam into the lunar surface right this second, you would continue to look at a peaceful, untouched moon for over a second before the flash of impact finally reached your retinas. Now consider the sun. The average distance from Earth to our star is about 93 million miles. Light takes an average of 8 minutes and 20 seconds to cross this massive gap. Think about the implications of that. If the sun were to suddenly vanish, go dark, or explode right this second, we would continue to see it shining brightly in our sky. For those 8 minutes, we would be living in a ghost world, a reality that has already ended, but whose final image is still rushing through the vacuum of space toward us. Because of these incomprehensible distances, scientists cannot use miles or kilometers to measure the universe. It would be like trying to use the width of a human hair to measure the distance between London and Tokyo. The number of zeros would be so long they would become meaningless. Instead, we use the light year. A light year is the total distance light travels in a single Earth year, which is roughly 6 trillion miles. To give you some perspective on just how far that is, if you were to drive a car at a constant 60 miles per hour, it would take you over 11 million years to travel just one single light year. Yet, in the grand theater of the cosmos, this 6 trillion mile unit is merely a basic yardstick. Let's travel further, past our solar system, to the North Star, Polaris. When you look at Polaris, you are receiving photons that left that star roughly 430 years ago. That light began its journey across the freezing void before Galileo ever placed his eye to a telescope, while ancient human empires were still at the peak of their power. If Polaris were to vanish from existence this very instant, our descendants wouldn't know the truth until the 25th century. Every star you see in the night sky is an old chapter in the history book of the universe. Some of those stars are already dead. They may have collapsed into black holes or vanished into clouds of glowing gas eons ago. But because their light is still traveling toward Earth, we see them shining as if nothing happened. We are living in a universe of temporal illusions, a place where the dead and the living are woven together across the depths of time. The further we look into deep space, the further we retreat into the ancient past. If the light year is our ruler, then telescopes are the binoculars that allow humanity to peer through the geological layers of time itself. When we point modern, powerful telescopes like the James Webb or the Hubble toward distant galaxies, we aren't just doing the work of physicists. We are performing the greatest cosmic archaeology mission ever conceived. We aren't just seeing objects. We are witnessing events that happened before the Earth was even born. Consider the Andromeda galaxy. It lies 2.5 million light-years from Earth. The light from Andromeda that hits your telescope lens tonight actually began its journey at a time when our distant ancestors hadn't even discovered how to make fire. We are seeing Andromeda as it was during the dawn of the human species. And that is only the beginning. There are distant galaxies billions of light years away. By the time their light finally reaches our digital sensors, it brings images of a young, violent, and vibrant universe. The era when the very first stars were ignited just after the Big Bang. The real reason the concept of a light year is so vital is that it allows us to observe our own history. We can never go back in time to see how the Earth or the solar system formed, but we can look at other star systems billions of light years away to see that exact same process happening right now. The universe is like a giant movie being played in ultra-slow motion for us. By observing different distances, we are watching different scenes of the cosmic story simultaneously. We can see the birth of stars in one direction and the death of galaxies in another. However, there is a brutal, heartbreaking limit to this time machine. The universe is not standing still, it is expanding. And the terrifying truth is that it is expanding so fast that at a certain distance, the space between us and the most distant galaxies is stretching faster than the speed of light itself. This creates what scientists call a cosmic event horizon. Light from those places will never, absolutely never, reach Earth. No matter how long we wait, those regions of space are moving away from us too quickly. They are parts of reality that have been permanently cut off from human sight. Living in a universe where everything we see as the past brings a strange, almost spiritual sense of existence. It reminds us that the present is an incredibly relative concept. What you call now is actually a patchwork of millions of different timestamps. You are seeing the 10-year-old past of one star mixed with the million-year-old past of a distant nebula. The universe is a tapestry woven from the oldest threads of light in existence. We, as small and fragile humans, often feel overwhelmed by this vastness. But you are not just a spectator. The very atoms that make up your body, the iron in your blood and the oxygen in your breath, were all once forged in the hearts of those ancient stars. You are looking at the very stars whose deaths gave you life. When you look at a light year, you are looking at your own origin story. We are literally stardust endowed with a mind, allowed for a brief moment to look back and understand the light that created us at the dawn of time. As we conclude today's journey, remember that every time you look up, you are performing a sacred act of connection with the great past. Do not feel small. Feel proud that you are a conscious being capable of decoding the light signals from the very edge of time. Light traveled for billions of years just to meet your eyes tonight. Isn't that a miracle in itself? If the mysteries of the past have touched you today, hit the like button. What do you think would happen if one day we found a way to travel faster than light? Would we catch up with our own past? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe and join us as we continue to look back through the ancient ghosts of light.